So our goal today is to use the small mold found from Amazon, and we're going to try to make a rainbow soap using only 3 colors, the primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. We're going to try doing a gradient pour. All sorts of crazy complex stuff I've never tried before, okay? So I have my lye solution here, and it looks cloudy, but that's because it's very concentrated. It is a steep water discount. Plus it has salt, sugar, and citric acid in it, plus the lye, so it is fully saturated. I don't think you could dissolve anything else in this solution. Because it is so concentrated, I am going to pour it through a sieve just in case there are any particulates that didn't dissolve or any crystals that reformed. And there are crystals in the bottom of the sieve there, so I'm glad I did that because you wouldn't want, I don't know if those crystals are sugar, salt, citric acid, or lye, or all 3. But I definitely wouldn't want little crystals of lye floating around in my soap. And we'll get to blending. Now, I only want my mixture to an emulsion, not a full trace. And I heard that one of the best ways to do that is to let your batter sit for just a little bit and then pull your spoon up and check it to see if you see any separation on the back of the spoon. But you want to let it sit just a little bit to let the oils, if they are separating, to let the oils separate from the water in the lye. And I am not seeing any breakage, so I think we've got a good emulsion. I'm going to get my recipe out of the way here. All right, the fragrance I am using today, and one of the reasons I wanted to use this Amazon box was because it's perfectly sized for the amount of fragrance, depending on your safety usage rates. It can usually use up a whole bottle of the smaller bottles from Brambleberry, anything that's about 2 ounces or less. This is 1.75 ounces. And this white tea and ginger is supposed to be a slow moving fragrance. So hopefully that will help us in our gradient to prevent it from thickening up too fast. We want this batter to be nice and smooth so that hopefully we can get nice smooth gradients. Now, my plan for this, I have the blue, the red, and the yellow. My plan is to start out with a reddish purple. So we're going to color this batch with mostly red. Now we're going to weigh that. Our total weight is about 53. I only want to use about 10 ounces for this first little bit. And we're going to color this with mostly red and a little bit of blue. Ooh, that's very, very red. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more blue to it. I spent all day, you would not believe how much red I have mixed up right now in micas, trying to get my mica to look as red as possible. I don't have one of the pre-mixed mica sets yet. I only have the individual sets, so I have to mix it all myself, which has not been easy. All right, I may have to mix up more blue as we go, but I'm going to add a little bit more blue to that. Okay, then I'm going to try to evenly pour the rest of the soap into the remaining 3 colors. Anytime you're separating soap into layers, you want to keep your batter constantly stirred. You don't want anything to settle Remember, lye is dissolved in water, and water sinks to the bottom and oil floats to the top. So if there's any chance that something is not fully emulsified, then you risk having part of your layers being lye heavy and part of them being lye light. And we want a little more in the yellow, since the yellow is going to be in the middle of everything. I have my main batter split up, and we're going to stir these up. I have my colorants mixed up. We're going to move the yellow and red to the side. We're going to focus on this purpley red. I still think it's a little too red, but we're just going to go with it. This is our first time, so we can make some mistakes. Now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of blue each time, and then I'll stir that up. Now we are going to tip our mold on this towel to keep it at an angle. And each time I add a little bit of the blue to this, the tint will get a little more blue, and we'll run it down the side here. And then I'll add some more blue and stir that up. It should be a slow, gradual transformation into blue soap, from purple to blue. And like I said, I wish that bottom color was more of a vibrant purple, but we're learning here, so I think this is okay. Oh, see, this right here is probably the purple I would like to have started out with. That's a really pretty purple, but that's okay. You gotta learn somehow. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit more here, make our layers just a little bit bigger. So far, I'm really happy with the consistency of the soap at this rate. Okay, keep mixing. Ooh, that's a lovely purple. That right there, that's the purple I really wanted. So it's gonna probably be more red at the bottom and red at the top. It'll be a rainbow sandwich. And then some more blue. We want enough blue so that this batter looks completely blue before we run out of the blue there, because we want to use some of that blue to make our green layer. It should blend with our yellow. Oh, that's the perfect purple right there. Oh, live and learn. I'm gonna put a little bit more in the middle there. We're getting closer and closer to blue though. And this is gonna be a messy one with going back and forth, so don't mind my spills. It'll be a messy rainbow to start with. I'm doing this kind of as an experiment. I have a very technical project in mind that's going to require gradient work. So I thought, well, why not practice doing a gradient with a rainbow? I've always wanted to make a rainbow soap, but I've always been intimidated by how many colors you need, how many layers you have to do. And this way I don't have to worry so much about layers setting up, because it's all supposed to kind of meld together. All right, this is definitely looking more bluish. And add a tiny bit more blue. I kind of wish I had more blue. Oh, that looks really blue, so that's good. And then I'll add just a little bit more blue. I'm gonna try to scrape this bowl and make this the last run through on this color here. Oh, that's looking really nice and blue. Oh, I think I'm breaking the rules by going on that side. It's got to go on this side. All right, let's go back at it. All right, now we're going to do one pass through with it just being straight blue. And I'm going to dump all the rest of this in here so we don't waste anything. Or try not to waste anything. Now what we will do, hold on, I've got to clean some of this up or it's going to drive me insane. Okay, so now we are going to take our yellow and start adding little bits of yellow into our blue. And this should slowly be turning our blue into green. I'm really hoping that this mold will hold everything. I think I measured it right, but you never know till you actually fill it. Oh, that's turning nice and green. Yay! So I don't know what you guys have all been doing during your stay-at-home orders with COVID-19. I would like to say I've been making tons of soap, but I really haven't. I have been organizing my basement, which is where I soap. I've been finding a lot of things that I was missing in my soaping supplies. I've been buying new soaping supplies. I've been thinking up soaping ideas. I usually do a lot of my soap thinking while I'm out walking with my husband. Every evening we've been going for an evening walk around our neighborhood, which has been really nice. I think I've seen more of my neighborhood in the past month than I have in the whole 10 years that I've lived here. So that's been really nice. I have also been selling things on eBay. I sell vintage items. I love to go yard selling. I love to go thrifting. So I started selling the things that I find because I have too much of them. And when I sell them, I use the money to buy more soaping stuff. So I use one hobby to pay for the other hobby. And it's been working out really nicely for me so far. So that's what I've been doing. Also, I teach like a Bible study group. I teach seminary for my church. And I've been helping my kids with their studies as well. Although I wouldn't really say helping them with their studies so much as just making sure that they do their studies. They're all old enough that they kind of do it themselves. And heaven bless the teachers because they're just doing amazing stuff with these kids. All right, this green layer is lasting a little longer than I would like it to, so I'm trying to amp up the yellow. Because I need to have enough yellow to do a yellow layer as well as make orange. So I'm going to try to make this the very last layer with green in it. So the green and yellow won't be quite as gradient as I would like them to be. But what you going to do? All right, we'll call that the last of the yellow and green and go straight in because I hardly have any yellow left. Go straight in and add some yellow. Now for the red. Luckily the red is staying fluid. I'm so happy with how fluid this has stayed through this whole thing. Okay, the problem is my red is really strong. I'm hoping I get some orange here. I might have to, woo. Okay, so that's not gonna be as orange as I would like it to be. Well, what you gonna do, right? Orange is gonna be a thin layer. That's all we got. That's all I got for you. Okay. I'd like to tip this a little bit further down, but I don't want it fully flat yet. We'll add a little more red. I've got a ton of red, way too much red. I should have had a lot more yellow because yellow is so light and it requires so much of it to mix with the colors. So if I were to do this again, which I hope I will, I would make it so that there was a lot more yellow than all the other colors and not near as much red. Red seems to be the strongest color. Oh no! Seems to be the strongest color we're working with. So yeah, this is going to be a very red heavy rainbow. Oops, I didn't even mix that. I guess what I could do is end it with pink so it's not so red. Okay, at this point we're going to go ahead and lie it flat. Now, the point of this is that the gradient is going to be on this side. I think in the rest of the soap it's going to look looped if we cut it this way, so we're planning on cutting it this way. But I was hoping to have flat levels throughout, but I'm seeing blue on this side and red on this side, so I doubt I'm going to get a full rainbow going straight through. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? So let's just see what we get though. This is an experiment for me. I've watched so many videos on doing ombre soap and gradient soap, and they never quite fully show me what the whole bar looks like. I want to see what it looks like from every angle and every cut. That's why I'm kind of doing this for myself, is to just see how that all works. So then I'm going to take the rest of this red, which I have so much of, and just add that on there. And I think I'm just going to try to layer it on the rest of the soap here as well. So if anyone is using these medium-sized, I don't want to call them small because I know that there's molds that are much smaller than this, but these are the ones you find on Amazon. I think right now you can buy 2 of them for $19 on Amazon. This recipe was for a total of 53.5 ounces of soap batter. Your oils and everything will differ depending on your recipe, depending on how much water you're using. But I can tell you, you can definitely fit, well, let's see, let's get all of our soap in here and see what we've got. But yeah, I'm gonna say 53.5 ounces of total soap batter. It's been 12 hours. We're ready to unmold this. This is my first time using one of these Amazon molds. So it'll be interesting to see how, oh, it unmolds rather easily. All right. Looks like we've got some nice even sides, no bowing in the middle, so it's good for that. Although I have heard that these wooden boxes that they come in can sometimes split or warp, but I haven't had that issue yet. Oh, and here comes our rainbow soap. Well, I was worried we wouldn't get much yellow, and it looks like we didn't get much yellow. What I am surprised to see is the lines look rather straight across, which I was not expecting. I was expecting more of a looped pattern on here. So that's exciting. Looks like I've got a little softness down on the bottom here. So let me clean up this mess and we'll start cutting. I'm going to cut this several different ways to be able to see what the gradient does in the slice. But the first one we'll take is just right off the end here. Oh, that's actually really pretty. It's not what I was looking for. I'm really wanting straight across lines, but that's a really pretty design. I actually like the effect that that gives. I do like the gradients. We did get a little yellow. I don't know if you can tell, the gradient is not as smooth between the yellow and the red, and that's because I was running out of yellow and started to worry. But I love the easy gradient up until we get to the yellow. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cut my bar quite big, and then I will turn it and make the cuts this way instead. And see if maybe that gives us a different look. So now I will turn it this way. And that does give straight lines. That's what I was hoping for. But I want to see how it looks all the way through the bar. Yay! I'm excited because this means that this will work for the project that I have intended for it. I have to say I am super, super pleased with how this is turning out. You can see there's the loop on the back, so this is like a section like this. Okay, and that's where you get the straight lines. There would be the cut here. Yeah, like right there. So let's try a couple more. Let's see, I'll do 3 more this way, and then I'll do some more that way because I really like that look as well. I'm not measuring these bars. I'm not going to sell these bars. This was just a fun experiment to try to prepare for my next project. Oh, my soap cutter. Oh, well, that can happen. So let's see, let's just use a good old knife then, and I will fix that later. Of course, the knife gives me my wonky slices. The nice thing about the knife is it gives you kind of a sheen on your soap that's really pretty. But I would encourage you guys to try this gradient technique for rainbow soaps. So if you cut it the traditional loaf style, you're going to get that loop effect. And if you turn your loaf and cut it along the side, you're going to get more of a straight line. You see a little bit of the loop, but that can easily be fixed, and you have more of a straight line on your gradient. I hope you guys like all of my beautiful soaps, and I encourage you to try it. If you do want to try this, I highly recommend the white tea and ginger fragrance from Brambleberry. It worked like a dream. Everything stayed liquid. I had plenty of time to pour and mix, and my soap still hardened up beautifully, and I think I got a good effect from it. But take my word of advice, a lot less red and a lot more yellow.